Welcome to this week's episode of CYA Sideline Podcast. This week, we're going to talk about a few different topics. A lot of things going on in the sports world. Obviously, college football playoffs. We've got CYA sports starting up. We've got some basketball getting ready to go here at the field house. We're excited about. The holidays are coming into town, so just sit here, have a conversation, talk about a few different things. First thing I want to talk about is this coaching stuff and in college football. I know it's a chaotic time, NIL, boosters, everything like that. And obviously the talk of the town is Lane Kiffin leaving midseason. Ole Miss is going to be in the college football playoff, and he's kind of made a spectacle of everything going on. But there's some other coaches that are leaving as well that took jobs that might be in the playoff hunt, and they're not getting as much backlash. Fair, unfair, warranted? Thoughts? I just want to hear some thoughts on it because, like I said, Lane Kiffin's taking a lot of heat. Granted, I'm not a Lane Kiffin fan, and he's kind of burned stuff down whenever he leaves. But then we've got the Tulane coach that took the job, and he's being allowed to coach Tulane if and when they make the playoff. And there's a little more.
And Chesney at JMU.
Yep. Did it confirm he got the UCLA job?
I thought it was confirmed.
I think they were in discussions. They were hinting at it, but they weren't trying to finalize it. Mm-hmm. So thoughts, is it fair or unfair that Lane Kiffin's taking the heat and these guys aren't? What are your thoughts on it, guys?
I mean, if I'm going first, it's totally fair. If Lane Kiffin took the job prior to the end of the season, which he had to do because of the signing, and he's got his recruiting situation, he's got to go take it now. NCAA set that up, so that's not really a Lane Kiffin problem. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, he's no longer the coach at Ole Miss. He's the coach at LSU. If I'm the Ole Miss AD, do I want that guy in my building? Nope, I don't want him. Go. Now you're not part of us anymore. You've said that. You've signed a huge contract. Just go. We'll be okay without you. And this whole idea that, well, it's his players, it's his opportunity. He's taken them this far. He had the opportunity to stay. And he has a great situation as far as all of us can tell. Who knows what the internal workings of Ole Miss football are. But it seems to me that he really has something good there. He's built a program. He's recruiting well. I feel like leaving he says it's not because of the money. It's hard to say it's not because of the money, especially with all the incentives. If he wins the national championship, they start showing how he can make more and more money.
Well, did you see that? Interesting thing since you brought it up. LSU has agreed to pay him the Ole Miss bonuses depending on how Ole Miss does in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I saw that as part of the contract, and I think that's, not to interrupt you, but I think that's part of the thing too. He's taken a job. His team's going to be in the playoffs, and he made some threats, and I think that was why they were more like, nah, we're good. Right? Like, we're going to take.
I would have said the same thing when you say, well, I'll take my whole offensive staff if you don't. Please. I mean, it sounds like Lane Kiffin to say that based on, again, what we see in the news. He may be a terrific guy, but in the news, just to even say that professionally, it's odd to me. So,
did you guys see his 5-minute interview with what's the guy's name on ESPN? The beard.
Marty Smith?
Marty Smith, yeah.
I didn't see that. I can't really watch Marty Smith.
Yeah, Marty Smith caught him at the airport when he left. And, I could see both sides. I mean, if I was an Ole Miss fan, I'd be pissed off. Frankly, I'd be pissed off.
But why?
But I agree with you.
Because he left or because they're not letting him coach?
Not just because he left, just thinking, got the raw end of the deal. But as an outsider looking in, I don't have an opinion either way, but I think it's the calendar's fault, like people said. I'm with you. I think the calendar's set up. Lane Kiffin is allowed to make this choice, and I think people might be irritated about the money, but Lane Kiffin's agent, Jimmy Sexton, I know his last name is Sexton, is a money-hungry agent, the worst of them all. The worst of them all. I wouldn't be surprised if those things, the bonuses, this guy just went in and negotiated on his behalf, you know, and he's like, all right, well, whatever, and Lane Kiffin on the interview said, I totally understand why the AD doesn't want me there. Mm-hmm. That's what he said. I mean, I don't think he has it. He understands. Yes, he'd like to do it, but he understands why he's not. I mean, and, it's a tough call.
I think the big thing, too, not to cut you off, the big difference between some of these other guys, the guys that took the jobs at the Floridas and Arkansas and Auburn and things like that, that guys are still kind of competing. is their group of 5 schools, group of 6 schools that are moving up to the Power 4, right? And the natural progression is if you don't go to a big Power 4 out of high school or junior college, you go to a group of 5 or 6 and then you progress. So that's the natural progression. I think the big problem here with all the hype is he left an SEC school for the SEC school, right? And it's not necessarily rivals, but they're going to play each other this year. We talked about it, and he's got his hand full. I told Mark this morning, you could have got that money from Ole Miss. I'm pretty confident Ole Miss gives you the money.
I think so too. I agree.
And you took your career safety net. I think he could have been at Ole Miss for as long as he wanted to be at Ole Miss. He's going to go to LSU, and if he doesn't perform, he's going to be out of a job in 3 years. Granted, he's going to make his $91 million, but there's going to be a lot of pressure to win there. And they expect you to bring home a national championship. It's not, I mean, look at Ogeron. He won a championship, had a down year after it, and they were like, you got to go. And Brian Kelly didn't last long because LSU collects championships is what they're thinking. They've had 3 in the last 20 years and they've had 3 different coaches win it.
It might but don't they all now? I mean, Alabama is kind of an interesting one too, because if DeBoer, when he started the season losing to Florida State, if he had continued to lose, he may not be there right now.
Yeah, that's the truth. But Alabama's known for winning. LSU known for winning, right? Those teams have numerous national championships. Think about Penn State. James Franklin stayed at Penn State for 12 years, 14 years, whatever it was. Never won a national championship. And until this year, they had the expectation of a national championship because they were ranked so high. Yeah. If they don't go through that 3-game losing streak, he's still at Penn State because it was comfortable. They were going to put up 9 or 10 wins and be good. Lane Kiffin could have stayed at Ole Miss and had 9 or 10 wins every year. And whether he makes the playoff or not, they're happy.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I don't want to beat down the Lane Kiffin stuff too much here, but I do think that, I mean, if you just look at it from outside and not just in a funnel of just this year, LSU's a better job.
Yeah.
LSU's a better job. And he can pick what he wants to do. Yeah. I mean, I don't want somebody telling me where I need to go work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm with him. It's like.
And there's no competition there either.
Yeah.
LSU's the only big school in Louisiana. He could go capitalize on the entire state of Louisiana. He's got no other schools in the state competing with him. I mean, they do, but there are no big dogs. Like Ole Miss has got Mississippi State, right? And you got Alabama and Auburn. You got Georgia and Georgia Tech. You've got down there, you've got multiple states where there's big schools that are competing for everybody. He's got no competition. And when they throw you $25 million to go spend on players.
Exactly. And that's a big part of it too. But not to be I'm going to change gears here. Is the school that's dropping the ball right now?
Penn State.
I thought for sure they're going to hire Chesney. I thought that people were talking about it. I wonder if LSU snuck him out. Now they're talking about Hoover, Penn State, because Chesney grew up in
BYU guy.
Pennsylvania. The BYU guy. Yeah, the BYU
Which is
guy.
Crazy because he was not anywhere. I mean, BYU's had 2 really good years.
Yeah.
He's a good coach. I think he came from Navy. I think he's a former Navy guy. But he's done a great job at BYU, put him on the map. They probably could have made the playoff last year. I think they should make it. Even if they lose to Texas Tech, I think they should be in the playoff, right? You lose 2 games to a top 5 team, and that's all you lose all year. I think you've got the ability to play. You've proven you're pretty good.
I want to come back to this because that's the question I want to ask you guys. BYU or if Alabama loses, who do you put in?
Alabama.
Then I think that's going to be the decision right there for the committee is those 2 teams.
Okay, here's one. Do you put BYU or Texas? Because I think that's a closer one.
That's a close one too.
I think that's a deciding one because I think Alabama getting a 3rd loss in the SEC championship. We talked about it earlier. I think Alabama belongs in. You shouldn't be punished for that. But Texas is a 3-loss team that's played pretty well down the stretch. They have that loss to Florida, but they played pretty well down the stretch. And BYU could be a 2-loss team. Who would you take in those 2? Neither. And again, remember, BYU is going to lose a conference championship if they go to 2 losses.
I guess the one thing a Texas fan would say is their 3 losses are just mighty good teams.
Mm-hmm. One of them is not.
League, right?
One of them's not. Florida was not a top 10 team. They lost to 3-8 Florida late in the year.
Yeah, Texas did. Yeah, I was trying to remember who their 3rd loss was.
So yeah, that's a tough one to overcome. Granted, they played for Ohio State first game of the year. That's
yeah.
Okay, cool.
They lost to Ohio State, Georgia,
in
Yeah,
Florida.
in Florida. Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
I think in that situation, I'm leaving Texas out. Granted, Texas has the name appeal, both in University and Arch Manning and Sarkisian, right? But BYU's played pretty dang well, and I think they've earned
It
it.
almost seems like, though, that if they're pandering to TV ratings and how much money is generated and all that, leaving Texas out, if it comes that close between Texas and BYU, man, I mean, Texas is going to sell that program. I mean, having them in the championship with Arch Manning playing well, there's a lot of good.
It's also
revenue
too what
generation.
we talked about. There's no defined way to determine the CFP. It's all subjective. They wanted to create this system to be objective, and they've made a subjective system.
Agreed. Yeah.
And I think the other thing that's problem with it is it's the ADs of these big schools. So obviously they want their school to be taken care of. And I'm going to say there's more people from the SEC on this committee than anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't even know. I have no clue. But yeah.
I mean, well, the eye test, if you're going to take either BYU or Texas this second, if you got to pick one, who would you pick?
From watching, I take BYU. I've watched BYU, and Texas has played well down the stretch, but Arch Manning has looked mediocre at times. This freshman at BYU, I'll say that quarterback to quarterback, the true freshman at BYU has looked really, really good. They're a talented football team. I don't think they get enough credit because they play on the West Coast, right? If we're being honest, none of us are staying up for a 10 o'clock game, right? We see a lot of the BYU stuff in highlights, but they don't get the recognition they deserve because they play out there.
And that is a detriment playing out there. You don't get as many eyes on you, for sure.
And they don't have their own TV network where they've got millions of people watching the Longhorn Network. So I think that's the downfall. But I'm taking BYU, and
it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out next week.
Yeah, next week it'll be fun to talk about the teams that get into the playoff and where they went wrong.
Because somebody's going to get screwed, for a lack of a better term.
But not really. I mean, like we've seen in the past, the teams that are in the 8 to 12 range that make it in, they're not. Are they really going to compete?
Well, the past is only 1 year, so it's hard to really say.
No, but if you look down the list, look at all of the guys that say they got screwed. Just go back to Florida State. Look at Florida State when he says he got screwed, and then they got smoked in the bowl game.
Yeah, because they got left out because they lost a quarterback.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
That's when there's only 4 teams. I'm glad they're at 12. Here's a question I have for you guys. And I was talking with some people about it. So you got the group of 5, and you got the ACC's an interesting animal this year because
I'm glad you went there with it because I was headed there.
The teams are not good. I mean,
the ones you were expected to be good fell off.
Is Miami,
Pitt, Georgia Tech.
Miami the ACC is doing themselves a disservice by not having Miami in the ACC championship. That could go on for a long time. Their tie-breaking system should be the highest ranked CFP. Then when they go into this tie-breaking system and a 4-loss Duke team gets in there, that's silly. You want your best team. It should be UVA versus Miami. The team that won, the team that's in second is Miami. Go to the CFP, the highest ranked. It does the ACC so much more benefit.
So what did you say the tiebreaker is? I didn't catch it.
There's a tiebreaker system. It went down a ways, and Duke got the tiebreaker. And it was tied with Miami, Duke, and somebody else for second, and Duke won the tiebreaker.
What would happen if Duke wins the ACC?
Yeah, that's a good question.
4 losses, yeah.
Do you put them in? Because you don't have to put the champions in it. They changed that rule. You don't have to put you're not guaranteed a spot with the championship.
The answer is no.
Do you put Duke in?
I'd put Miami.
Yeah.
If you're going
to go the ACC, you got to go Miami.
I think you leave them out. I think you give somebody else the opportunity. If you're not good enough to go compete in for the ACC championship, I know the tiebreaker came down to it, but you left it up for a tiebreaker in that conference, if we're being honest, that conference is the worst of the Power 4.
Yep.
If you leave it up to a tiebreaker, I say somebody else deserves it. I don't leave a BYU. I don't leave a 3-loss Alabama. I don't leave a Texas off to put an ACC.
Here you go with the 3-loss Alabama. You know what's interesting about that? If Alabama's not in that championship game, there are 2-loss Alabama going into the discussion. Where does Vandy fit in? Vandy's getting they're right on the edge looking in. They're got 2-loss. If Alabama loses and drops, I mean, Vandy, we haven't talked much, and on this show.
Like ranked 14th, I think.
They're right in there, right?
They're there, but
would you leave them out? Excuse me, instead of, or would you put Duke in? if they win
over Vandy. No, I mean, again, it's the eye test.
Yeah.
So say that again. So the ACC does not have a guaranteed spot.
I don't think anybody does. I think they took away. You used to be the 4 champions automatically got in.
Well, I think what it is the 4 champions still automatically get in. They just don't get the top 4 seeds.
I don't
right?
think.
I think you're right, Scotty.
I think they still automatically.
They're still automatically in.
I don't think they're going to
get
send Duke to the. I don't think they will send Duke.
I think the point is that the ACC then could make their own decision, maybe. Like if it's Duke wins it, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Look that up, Mark.
Yeah,
I think the conference champions still get in, but I could be wrong.
I can't see them letting Duke go to this college play. You're talking about the worst ratings for when you're trying to get people to watch games.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I'm just saying what I think the rule is.
Yeah.
And this is what I was getting ready to say is I think the CFP should have a rule. This is for the group of. This is for any conference. This is for anybody who qualifies. Anybody, if automatic qualifiers, not in the top, say 20 or 25 in the CFP poll, they can't go.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's JMU, Tulane. If they're not in the top 25, I know people have a love affair with the group of 5 getting in, and I like them being in as well. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see them in there. But if they're just not good enough to compete, if they're not in the, say, top 25 in the CFP, well, maybe this year it just doesn't happen. You bring somebody else in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same for Duke. They wouldn't get in.
This is, with the 12 teams that get in, it's with the committee selection, the 5 highest ranked conference champions earning automatic bids. These 5 highest ranked conference champions are in regardless of where they rank in the top 25, even if they're not in the top 25, which would mean Duke gets in.
Yeah.
If they win, they're automatically in. They might be the lowest rank of the 12 going in, but they're in.
Yeah. I actually still think that Duke would be ranked. Well, maybe not true. They would actually come to the 12. Duke wins, the group of 5 team would probably be the 11th seed. You know, it's kind of assumed that they're going to be the 12th seed.
Yeah, I kind of assume.
It'd be close. Duke UVA would definitely be the 11 if they win, and then the group of 5 would then be behind the 12. Interesting. We'll see how it plays out.
It's exciting. There's good football, a couple good football games to watch this week. Turn it over. We talk a little bit of local stuff. CYA basketball's getting ready to kick off. We got games, about 1,700 kids. So
dang, 1,700?
I think it's like 1,700 kids playing this winter. Yep. The field house will be packed with games. We'll have it Saturday and Sundays from 1 to 10. Be games going on like crazy, and then it's just a kickoff to our winter. We have obviously the holidays coming up, so it's a little slow. But once we get through the holidays, then we've got Valor futsal picking up. We've got HP training, evolution training. And then basketball on top of it. So it'll be a little bit of a crazy time here at the field house. And not to mention, we've got 600 flag football kids playing here on Saturday.
Flag football, man, that goes all day.
7 a.m., 6:30 a.m. to about 10 p.m. on Saturdays. Yeah. So Saturday's our busy day here at the field house. And we've got 2 weeks from this Saturday, right, is our wrapping
party. So every year we collect gifts for the Inova Pediatric Cancer Center.
That's great.
And so that's going on now. And so if anyone is watching this year, if you get the CYA buzz, you've seen all the detail on how we're collecting those gifts. If you don't get the buzz, go onto the website and then sign up to get that. We're going to have more ads going out. It's chantillyouth.org. But we're collecting those, and we'll be doing that through the 12th. Then Saturday the 13th, I think it's the 13th, is when we're wrapping all the gifts. Again, if you want to get on that, be one of the wrapping elves coming in here. We usually have about 50 or 60 people. You can sign up to do that too. All the detail is on the website, and then we distribute those on the 14th to to Inova. So that's going to be it's always a great time. This is our 10th year doing it.
It's awesome. We already got a ton of toys here too.
Yeah. And I think that's just the start. I think we're probably somewhere between 300 and 400 gifts, I would say,
easily.
And we usually we try to get to about 600 or 700. So they'll keep filtering in. We get deliveries every day. Jim he's brought a couple more boxes today. So he just keeps bringing them over.
Yeah, it's sponsored by Candlelighters. Yeah. So when you say Jim is our Jim and Meg.
Yep.
They're the Candlelighters Connections, DC Candlelighters, I think they're .org. But so we work on their behalf, and they make sure that everything, we do all the legwork on this side. They take it the next level and make sure all the families get the gifts with Santa and the whole deal. So
that's awesome, man. That's what it really
absolutely. If you're local, like Mark said, you can check us out on the website. You don't have to be local. Check us out on the website. It's got a list. You can send it. If you're local and you want to drop a gift off, just feel free to come by the field house. We'll collect those gifts and make sure they get wrapped and distributed. So come on out and check it out.
Yeah, back to the local sports here at the field house. The Sideline might get out there this year and do like a little some live coverage, maybe get some clips, maybe do some interviews with some of the kids out there. So be ready to see us out there courtside.
Yeah, absolutely. For flag football and basketball here at the
that'd be
Fieldhouse,
fun.
we'll be able to get some clips, chat with those guys a little bit, which would be nice.
Fun.
You know what you were talking about earlier, putting this thing on casters so that we can roll it around the field house, and we set up and look like this in various parts
Maybe
of the
call a
building.
game or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Be nice to hang out, call a game, and have people
Wouldn't
come.
it be cool to do that on a live stream, that we get some of these later in the season in February,
Like
these kids
championship
are going to
games.
championship games. We sit and call them. That would be fun.
I'm picturing a kid, a 6th grader or something, jacking up a half-court shot to win it. We're bringing him over to interview him in the heat of the moment. He's all fired up. You know, can picture it now.
That would be a lot of fun to try to do stuff like that.
Yeah,
See how this,
Absolutely.
how the sideline evolves. We talked about how it will support the local community, and that would be a great way to do it.
That'd be fun.
Speaking of playoffs, we talked about hopefully filming some playoff basketball. We've got some playoff implications going back to some football on the NFL side, right? Big games this weekend with playoff standings. We got Bears, Packers. We got Jags, Colts, Cowboys, Lions. So there's some big games that have some implications. We haven't talked a whole lot of NFL lately on the podcast. Just your thoughts of where the season's going. Some surprises, some shockers that.
I'll give you 2 thoughts.
Okay.
So I'll start with it. 2 thoughts. I'm not going to take up too much time on it. One is the Rams losing this past week was surprising, but I actually think it's going to pay long-term dividends for them. I think it's going to get them refocused. It's going to give their coaching staff something to get on the players about, make them work a little harder at practice, get everybody refocused. I expect the Rams to come out of this and still look good, is my one point. And my other thing for this week, the Packers-Bears, huge game. Like you said, Bears, man, I don't know how they're what, 9-3? And they're like leading the NFC right now, right? I expect that to be a low-scoring game.
That's a dog. I think it's going to be a dog
fight, a low-scoring game. I expect a
we can expect some weather there.
14 maybe game.
It's going to be
that.
cold.
Yeah.
I expect. What are your thoughts so far?
You know what I took away from the Rams losing, which was I was actually in the truck driving, and I was listening to that game. Bryce Young sounds like he's doing well.
He's finally kind of clicked.
Yeah.
I think they're 7-6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the defense sounds like it's doing well. I mean, Carolina sounds like they're for real. And they are starting to put it together. Every time during that game when I was listening, every time the Rams would do something big, Nakua was catching like crazy. I mean, Devontae Adams had 2 touchdowns, I think, in the first few minutes.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, Carolina comes back and responds right away. I mean, it was moved right down the field, touchdown. So I like to see that because, when Bryce Young came out of Alabama, I think everybody thought not only physically, he looked so young and he looked like he wasn't ready. Then he proved he wasn't ready. They benched him, and now he's starting to get some rhythm going. So that's kind of fun to see.
Yeah, I think I'll go along that. Carolina and Jacksonville are 2 teams that have kind of impressed me a little bit. Corvallis is back as a second-year coach. They gave him an opportunity to kind of develop Bryce Young. It looks like he's having some success. They're developing, but it's also they put some weapons around him. I mean, they've got 2 good running backs. They got a couple wide receivers, and their defense, which has been atrocious for a couple years. Their defense is kind of they've done the thing. They're not on the Lions status, but they've built through the draft, which is nice to see. And then Jacksonville, I know you're happy with Mr. Cohen, the head coach. He's a Kentucky guy. He's got them playing pretty well. Normally, this is the time we see Trevor Lawrence kind of hit his lull and he starts to make some bonehead mistakes. And having those teams kind of be competing at this time of year is something cool to see because there's some parity in the league now. I know I could go on about the Patriots, but they're kind of back there.
Yeah.
You could talk about their strength and schedule and stuff, but they look good. I think they're coached well, and it shows the importance of putting a good coach in situations. I mean, you're talking about some teams that haven't done well. Houston they're starting to be healthy. D'Amico Ryans looks like he's building a culture there. They've got a top 5 defense, and if they stay healthy on the offensive end, they're going to compete. So it's good to see some of these teams with new coaches that have struggled a little bit and don't always have success, but kind of come back around and build some stuff. So it should be fun going down the stretch for sure.
Totally agree. Okay, one last question on NFL, real quick. If you had to pick right now, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Rams. He said quick.
Yeah. I can't go quick on that. I just didn't expect you to be that quick. Scotty, who is your pick to win?
Well, I was gonna say the Rams as well, so I'm gonna go Rams right now.
Wow, two of them. That's pretty
You
interesting.
guys are staying in the NFC. I got to go AFC.
You're going to say the Patriots, aren't you?
I won't say the Patriots because I don't think they're capable. They're having a good year. I don't think they're that
I think
good.
he's gonna say the Bills.
The Ravens.
What?
The Ravens.
You watch. They'll
Oh,
be right at the right time.
All right.
There's your long shot pick right there.
I mean,
What's their
what-
record right
what's
now?
6-6, but
They
they
got
got a division
Lamar
game.
back.
They got a division game coming
Yeah.
up. They have a big one this week.
That we haven't talked about that division, but
It's
I mean,
awful
that
right now.
is,
But Lamar's got to win 2 of the next 3. If he should win 3 of the next 5 games, right? If he wins 3 of the next 5 games, he's absolutely in the playoffs. And that Ravens team is not a team I want to run up against.
Save that clip, folks.
Yep.
Right there. You heard it here first.
I mean, if you're looking at the
Sideline Zack
division,
with the
though,
pick of
the
the
division
year.
is pretty easy, relatively speaking. The Steelers don't look very good. At least, I mean, the game that Aaron Rodgers got his nose busted up in they just didn't look that good. Cincinnati doesn't look that good.
I was expecting more to
Cleveland?
the Steelers. Cincinnati's got Joe Burrow back there. They can compete with anybody now, but I think they fell too far back.
Yeah,
They
they're
fell
too
too
far
far
back.
back.
I think it's between the Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers, and I thought the Steelers were going to be better. It's so bad they're calling to fire Mike Tomlin, which they're starting to champ
defense
that.
of Aaron Rodgers, that was a great response he gave when they asked him if it was the coach or if the preparation. He said he's not going there about Tomlin. It's on the players.
Mhm.
And they didn't execute.
And like he said, we've got to have people show up to meetings. Think about that. If
People aren't
he's
coming.
saying he's not saying something about Tomlin, but he's saying something about Tomlin because he mentioned about people needing to show up for film sessions and doing things the right way. So if people aren't showing up to film sessions and doing things the right way, that's a coaching problem.
That's
So
true.
the Ravens are a tough team. They got basically a cakewalk in that division, and then anything can happen.
Yeah, anything. That's got to be a long shot though. But
I'm sure it is. But
Well, Lamar and the fact that you've got
Lamar, and
Derrick
Henry, and Hopkins, and Flowers.
I love the picks. I like somebody going on a limb. I think it's a great pick,
Mhm.
Zach. Good
I
job.
appreciate that.
Okay, yeah, he's
All
going
right.
purple. We didn't talk about the big coaching in the SEC now that Will Stein has been hired by UK.
Yeah,
Yes, he has.
That was
Kentucky
kinda
got a new
cool. I
coach.
think it's nice to get a local guy. I always love that when a team goes and gets a local guy.
With that, I'd like to go ahead and just do a trivia question for you guys.
Okay, give
How
us the
about I
truth.
like Scotty make that up right now? We're just going to jump right into one. Let's
Let's do
cut
it.
this out and make it short if we want.
All right.
Been a lot of coaching changes. We've talked a lot about all the coaching changes, a lot
yeah,
in
and the importance of
SEC,
coaching, the changes, all
a
that.
lot in the SEC. So my question is, as of right now, because this can change, who is the longest tenured coach in the SEC?
Ooh, it was Stoops,
It was Stoops,
and
now he's gone.
Kirby Smart.
Kirby Smart. It is very
That was
good.
I should have known it's a Georgia
Yeah.
question. with
Well, I didn't know.
Scotty.
I just happened to see this. It is Kirby Smart.
10 years, right? 9?
2016.
9 years.
Yep, 9 years. That's not very long.
You didn't expect that from me.
I didn't.
Hey, some knowledge there for
you know, when we
Scotty.
talk about that too, it's funny that we're all over the SEC and talking about Lane Kiffin and how emotionally and this and that. Those guys, Kirby Smart could be kind of like Stoops. Stoops 2 years ago was riding high, got his new contract, everything was great. I don't know when the new contract, I think it was 2 years ago, but he actually was winning, getting into bowl games. He got into 7 bowl games. Then I think the turning point was for him. It was turning throughout the year.
Mhm.
But when you lose to Louisville like he did, I think then the deal's done.
Yeah, that's
And
embarrassing.
that could be for any of these
So
guys.
you're
But
saying that you think Kirby Smart will be fired in 2 years after having 2 natties and being top 5 years? I'm not sure if the balance is the same
let me
between
say,
Stoops and
I'm
Kirby Smart.
wondering out loud,
Yeah.
which is always a mistake. But what if Georgia takes, a dive a little bit? What if they lose 3 or 4 games next year? They don't meet the
I
expectation.
can't imagine that happening.
But what if they did?
What-
And that's
if,
my point.
if they lose 3 or 4 games, he's got to pass for a while.
I think he's got a year
I
pass.
mean,
for sure. I think he's got a year.
I think he's got 2 or 3.
I think he would have a minimum of a year pass, probably 2. I think it's the Dabo thing. I think
Yeah, I mean, Dabo didn't get much of a pass.
I mean,
and-
he's still there. He's not getting fired.
Yeah,
But,
but
I mean,
even
there's some
they
heat.
beat him down.
Yeah,
And I'll
there's
tell
some
you
heat.
what, I would have loved to have seen. I had said to Zach not long ago that I'll bet you Dabo goes to Kentucky. I was thinking that he wants to get to the SEC. He's going to take a program that he can build. I was thinking that he never appeared
Maybe
on
Ole
any
Miss.
list. Yeah, would
No,
that be great?
they hired their coach permanent, DC, the
Oh,
defensive coordinator. They gave it to him
they
on
get.
the
I
spot.
thought it was.
No,
Oh,
they
I
gave
didn't
him the
know
job
that. I thought it was
permanently.
interim.
Wow.
Okay.
They gave it to him. It's his.
Okay.
Funny thing with Dabo too, I think the reason he takes so much heat is because he doesn't want to conform to the new system. He doesn't want to buy into the system. Kirby's a big player in the system,
Definitely.
right? He'll play in that system, so I think he gets a little more because you got to put up or shut up, right? If you're going to say Dabo, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to win my way. You don't win. You got to go.
Yeah.
Here's a hypothetical for you. If Kirby Smart were to ever leave Georgia, what would it take for him to leave Georgia? Like, what would be a job that you think? Is it only Alabama?
The only Alabama, but he went to Georgia. He played for Georgia.
Yeah. You don't think he's ever leaving Georgia?
I
mean, he's kind of turned.
If he did, I can't even see him leaving.
I just thought it was a hypothetical kind of
hypothetical.
with the Lane Kiffin thing.
It could.
Is there something that would take him, like, because you say LSU's a better job, right? Is there a better job? Because he kind of created Georgia, if we're being honest, right? Like,
Georgia's always been good, but he took it.
He put him on the
B to the A level.
Yeah, he put him on the map as one of the powerhouses. So he's created that. So, is there a better job than Georgia? There's not many. There's not many jobs that are better.
I don't think so. I just can't see him going to Alabama, and I don't. And besides that, I don't think anything. Maybe Notre Dame. Maybe.
And would Alabama want him? I kind of feel like Alabama, they passed up on the Dabo sweepstakes when all that stuff was going down and they were looking for a new coach to replace Saban. Dabo would have been perfect because he's in Alabama.
I mean, I thought he would. I think that if he wanted to come there, they would have taken him. But who knows how it all went down. Yeah. I think he wanted to stay.
The reason I asked that is because I've heard rumblings that DeBoer's name's in for the Penn State job too.
I've heard that too. A lot.
That makes no sense.
I don't know why it's there. I don't know why I think that's a step back, if we're being honest, from Alabama to Penn State.
Oh, sure.
It's a step back. But if his name's in it, that opens up a powerhouse job. So, and you've seen some names kind of disappear. So what?
Maybe Dabo would take it now. A year later, after he's taking a lot of heat. I don't see Kirby leaving. I mean, he's got a pipeline.
No.
I could see Dabo doing Alabama if he got the opportunity. Just being an Alabama guy, he won the national championship with them back in I don't know how many years ago. He was a player.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he would be a good fit there. Plus, he kind of fits that mold. He has that sort of. He's going to do it his way, and he's kind of a Saban-like sort of guy. So
yeah, I mean, another person that you would consider. I mean, if you're talking about baby Kirby, it'd be Steve Sarkisian. I mean, because
going to Alabama,
that'd be the same thing as like when Saban was rolling there in the 2010s area. You got Sarkisian and Kirby Smart were his coordinators. I mean,
and you had Lane Kiffin in there,
Lane Kiffin,
Mario Cristobal,
in there.
Dan Lanning. They were all working for his chart. Saban's chart is pretty crazy.
I know, crazy.
Speaking of Sarkisian, he might be leaving. I don't expect him to be at Texas much longer.
Why?
Because he's made announcements that he wants to be in the NFL. He's made statements.
I can see him stepping there.
He's made statements, and a job to look for is the Tennessee job. Apparently, he wants to work with Ken Moore. Is the rumor on the street?
I can see him going in.
Isn't that a bizarre thing? If you're in Texas, he went there. They're doing so well, and to think of leaving, he owns the city. He's like the guy. I mean, these guys. They just want something else that they don't have. The grass is always greener.
There's more money too. Surprisingly, there's more money in the NFL. You're dealing with different personalities.
I wonder if there is.
And
I mean, these guys now are getting paid NFL money.
I mean, I just saw. I guess Kirby makes the most.
Yeah.
Kiffin now falls into two
and
slots.
Sarkisian's top 10. I think he's like 10 or 11 million.
Yeah, nothing to sneeze at.
No.
Not saying you're making.
I wish. I might not be sitting here if I was making it. Just I love you guys, but
I was reading about Chesney. I think Chesney was only making $1 million a year, right? Only. But I think that's it's interesting that when he looks around at these other jobs, even UCLA, Penn State,
he's going to get paid. Go to 7, 8.
Well, that speaking of the Signetti, I saw a thing about him, like his transition the last 5 or 6 years. It was like he went from 250,000 to 11 million as a coach.
Pretty good raise. Crazy. And you know what? We haven't even brought him up. We don't talk much about Ohio State, but what is that going to do to the CFP if Indiana beats Ohio State?
I think they're both top 4.
Yeah, they're both locked in.
Unless The only way I could see maybe somebody jumping out of the top 4 is Ohio's. I can't even see it. I'd say if Ohio State's just
Yeah, they would have to slaughter Indiana.
Yeah.
Like one of those two teams would have to get destroyed, but I think both of them are staying there.
I want
think
to
so,
see
too.
Indiana win just because I want to kind of level the playing field a little bit.
Here's the question: If Georgia beats Alabama and Indiana beats Ohio State, does Georgia pass Ohio State? That's a question. Or does it just Indiana Ohio State flip?
Indiana, Ohio State flip.
And Georgia doesn't even pass Ohio State.
I don't think so.
Ohio State has
So
the strength of schedule. That's
Georgia's
54.
Yeah.
schedule is way better than Ohio State.
Yeah.
I think it should, but I can see them leaving that just
I
to do
think
it.
I just can't see it
doesn't really
because
matter
of
that much,
championship
second or
games. I
third,
can't
but-
see it. I hope
Yeah.
that they don't do that because, again, the championship game should not mean that you should jump like that.
second or third doesn't matter if it was 3, 4, something like that, because you're getting closer when those middle games.
Yeah, you're playing.
Your quarterfinal and
I don't want to say
semifinal.
it doesn't. It does matter
Yeah.
a little
Because
you
if
know,
you're
but-
the 4 seed, you've got the
The
5
5
seed you
seed.
got to worry about, and then you've got the 1 seed you've got to play, which
Yeah.
it makes it the tougher. And that happened last year with some of the way the cookie crumbled. And to be honest with you, last year none of the teams that had a bye won. So
that'll change this year, I bet.
Mhm.
And so we're looking at 1 year. If we saw like a lot of years,
Yeah.
of like
it was just interesting that
Yeah.
extra time off with those guys building up to it. I mean, it's hard to keep the 18 to 22-year-olds focused. I know we're talking about a different breed of 18 to 22-year-olds, but some of those teams aren't playing now. They don't play for 4 weeks, 3, 4 weeks, whatever it is. It's going to be hard to keep them locked in for that time and stay focused. So
Yep.
where if you've got
Right.
a game before that, you've got a little less downtime and you're going. And especially if you're going from an SEC championship to a first round CFP game, you've probably got 2 weeks in there.
that's it.
So I think it's just tough. It'll be interesting to see. I think the teams are a little better. That'll be the 1 through 4. So like you said,
I think it'll change. I think they are a little better, but they're not all going to win.
No.
Somebody's going to get upset. I don't. This is something we should talk about next week, but I'll set it up for next week when we talk. Is that the team I wouldn't want to play is Notre Dame?
There, you're right. I totally
I
agree.
don't know if you've been there or not, but I wouldn't want to play them. But let's not talk about that now because that's a good subject for next
Yeah,
week.
next week.
Once the CFP comes up, so we
Yep.
say like who we
next
wanna
week
play
will be a
that.
good week to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, when you bring that up, it brings up the Heisman discussion. We haven't talked about that much at all because all of us were on the.
Who gets it?
I mean,
Your pick to wrap it up. Who's your pick for Heisman?
Love.
Do you think Jeremiah Love?
If Indiana wins, I'm taking the Indiana quarterback.
Interesting.
As much as I don't like it, and I know you don't like it, I think the Pavia kid gets it.
You think so?
Vanderbilt.
I
yeah.
mean, look, he's.
And
I
they
had
put up
said
good
last week
numbers.
that
He's
he
put up
is-
really good numbers.
He's a good player.
I mean, down the stretch, and I think the advantage he's gonna have if they go by it is the schedule he played, and he put up big numbers in what everybody calls the best conference.
And going into Knoxville last week
And
just
destroying
and that was. I mean, that
And I mean,
was the
I think
icing
it's
on
like
the cake
12
for him.
touchdowns in the last 2 weeks or something like that. 11 or 12 touchdowns.
And it's him. You watch the games; he is the team. So I kind of agree. I mean, he's in the conversation for sure, and we haven't talked much about him being in the conversation. That Mendoza kid is. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that guy out of Indiana too.
I
mean,
just
he's-
feel like if he can go in
If he beats Ohio State,
and
it's a
beats
different.
Ohio State, it's going to be hard to not vote for him because that's the signature win he needs.
Yeah,
and
it's-
then they are undefeated and win
And
the,
they beat the number one team in the
championship.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, but if he doesn't win, probably I'd say it's hard not to give it to a quarterback, even though people are thinking Love. But it's
the numbers love. I went the Notre Dame route preseason, but I picked their freshman quarterback. I mean, they look pretty good with that freshman quarterback, but it's partly because of that run game.
yeah,
They've got 2 running backs that can run all over you. So
well, and CJ Carter is going to be good. I mean,
Yeah.
down the road, he's going to be
Mhm.
We'll be talking about him a lot over the next couple of years.
And also, this is something we can talk about next week too. Is coming up here, starting tomorrow to Friday is the early signing period for high school recruits for
Mhm.
football, and there's some big ones coming down. So we can touch on recruiting.
I saw
classes,
they
too.
got a Prince William County kid. I'm blanking on the name right now. They just got him to flip. He was committed to Penn State. He flipped to Virginia Tech, like a 4-star recruit.
Tex Franklin's done a good job so far. It'll be fun to talk about that next week.
Yeah.
So.
All right. That's what we got this week. Thank you for joining us on the CYA Sideline Podcast. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Thanks for following.